do it.
Okay, we are recording. So welcome everybody to the training. My name is Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. I am excited to be here tonight, as Cass said, personally, to train you. We're going to have some fun. I am going to show you Teamzy. For those of you who haven't started using it yet, you'll learn how easy it is to use. I'll take you through the steps of how to set it up and how to do a power hour efficiently and effectively. And when I say power hour, just so you know what I mean, the idea is that you can get all your income producing activities in your business done in less than an hour a day. So you can have plenty of time to do other stuff. I also want to teach you a little bit about, I almost said recycling. No, that's a different class. I want to teach you a little bit about relationship marketing, which is what system is built upon. It's a system that Teamzy is built upon so that you can work relationship marketing. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of that. Then we're going to get in there and then we'll do some question and answer. If you guys have questions, I will hang out and answer them for you too. Sound good? And we are recording this. So Kelly, you'll get the replay probably tomorrow morning so that you can share with the rest of the team.
Okay, great.
So let's see here we go. Here we go. So let's start right here. How to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. This is my favorite topic, power hour boss. I don't know, you guys may not know this. I even wrote a book called Power Hour Boss. It's my thing. And this is what you're going to be by the end of tonight's training, a power hour boss. So just to kind of give you a little bit of my backstory, I know some of you kind of know me from some of my Teamzy trainings and whatnot. But I want to just, actually, hold on a second. I'm just going to go and mute. I'm going to mute everybody because we're getting a little noise here. Okay, good. So my background is in business coaching and consulting. I've been a professional business consultant for 20 years. And I know, crazy, right? It's hard to believe. We were doing the math the other day, one of my business partners and I was like, 20 years we've been doing this, helping people build businesses based on relationship marketing. About 6 years ago, seven, kind of lose track of exactly when it started, I fell into the network marketing industry by accident. How many of you guys fell in by accident? I wasn't intending to. You know, we had a great thing going. I was working for one of the largest coaching consulting companies in the real estate industry, enjoying my career, loving it. I had a corner office, ocean view, nice salary, the whole deal. Everything I thought I wanted, except I wanted more. I felt like a couple of things were going on in my life. One, I live in Southern California, and so, you know, we needed to make more income. I don't know how else to say that. Anybody want to make more income? That's what I wanted to do, because we wanted to buy a new house and the cost of living is really expensive. And there was nowhere left for me to grow in my company, in my job, my career. So there was really no way I could make more income. The other piece of the puzzle was these amazing people here. Here's a shot of my family. I wanted to be around my family more. I just wanted to spend some more time with them. And I was never around them. I was constantly working. You know, and I felt like that was my job, right? Go out and work and provide, but I wanted to be part of their lives too. And so I really started looking at network marketing as an opportunity, something I could do on the side that could do those two things. Give me some freedom of time, give me some extra income, right? The challenge that I had, and some of you may feel this challenge, when the heck am I going to build another business? I'm so busy already. And so just trying to fit it in, just trying to squeeze it in, and then wondering, you know, are you doing the right things in a little bit of time you have? So I started looking for tools, software specifically, that would help me get organized and do the things I knew I needed to get done in you know, maybe that 1 hour a day that I could squeeze into my schedule. And what I found was, despite this being a multi-billion-dollar industry with millions of people building businesses this way, there weren't any good tools. I couldn't believe it. And so that's kind of how Teamzy came to be. I honestly, I sketched some stuff in a notebook and took some friends to lunch and said, do you think we could do this? And Teamzy kind of came to be. So just to kind of give you some background, in 4.5 years since we launched Teamzy, we launched it with a $200 Facebook ad, and I texted a link to 20 people I knew to check out. And it has just grown word of mouth. You guys have heard about it too, you know, which is pretty cool. We've had more than 120,000 network marketers use Teamzy in the last 4.5 years, which is amazing. Also, just to give you some idea of what people in Xyngular are experiencing, active Xyngular users in Teamzy, they're averaging 36 new customers and 14 new recruits over 90 days. 36 new customers and 14 new recruits over 90 days. Those numbers are unreal. but they are real, right? And you guys know that that was true because you felt it. You felt the growth, you felt the supply chain break, you felt all of it over the last several months, which has been pretty amazing. So we're really excited. And tonight, when I demonstrate Teamzy for you guys, I'm going to show you exactly the amount of activity these people I'm calling active are doing, so that you have an idea of what kind of activity they're putting into their business to get results like this over 90 days. So let's dive into the topic. What is relationship marketing? What is relationship marketing? You're going to hear this term a lot. People use it everywhere. No matter who it is, now suddenly everybody's talking about, it's all about relationships. But what you'll find is most of them don't actually mean it. They don't actually mean it. Okay. And this is why. Let me just kind of give you some ideas of what this means. First off, relationship marketing, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. People are more important than the sale. Relationships are more important than the sale. This is the fundamental philosophy of everything we're going to talk about tonight. It's not about using a relationship to get a sale. It's about building relationships. Okay. The second piece is, this is not some abstract feel-good concept where we're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya at the end of the training tonight. Relationships feel so good. This is a proven system. Okay. It's a system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. It's a system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Okay. Also, I want you guys to understand relationship marketing is a lead generation system, Okay. And that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. This is huge. As owners of your own business, it's your job to choose which lead generation system you'll employ. How will you build your business? Okay. I happen to believe relationship marketing is the most effective and the most authentic and fun one. But you need to understand at the outset that selling and marketing Xyngular's great line of products is not your business. You are in the lead generation business. That is you're the owner of the business. Your job is to generate leads for the business. Okay. In other words, initiating that interest and that inquiry. And why do we need to do this? Because developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. We need you to meet new people so that you can build relationships with them. If I summed up everything that I teach, that would be it. Meet new people and build relationships with them. The people that you've already known, go deeper. That's in a nutshell what I'm going to be teaching you guys tonight. That's what the system that I have built helps you do. And there's a reason for it. There's a reason why the focus is on the relationship and not the sale. And that's because we turn our relationships into advocates. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. Listen up, guys. Somebody could say no to Xyngular, but they can still be your advocate. They can be so fired up about the mission that you're on that when they come into contact with people who need what you have to offer, you're going to be on the tip of their tongue. They're going to be your advocate. And I look at every single person I talk to as my advocate. I believe that everyone on this training will be my advocate by the end of this training. Some of you will be lifelong Teamzy users. Some of you won't. But all of you will think it's awesome and tell people about it. That's my goal for tonight. And that should be your goal with every interaction in your business, is that you are building advocates. Not that I'm going to get a sale, but that I'm creating an army of advocates. When you have an army of advocates working for you, it comes in every month consistently. And that's how we see numbers like the ones I just quoted you guys a minute ago. Make sense? Okay, next piece. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. How many of you guys have been told by, and it's okay, you've been told by trainers or even people in your own maybe uplines or sidelines, people you respect, try this. And you're like, do I have to? I don't like the way it feels when I do that. How many of you guys have had something like that happen where you're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't want to say that. Ooh. I want you guys to understand that a lot of what's being taught, look, there's lots of ways to approach this business and people get results doing different things. But with relationship marketing, it depends on trust, which means you cannot do anything disingenuous. Even if it just slightly feels disingenuous to you, you shouldn't do it. It's going to erode trust, and you don't have to, which is cool. Now, here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. Trust makes the work fun. If people trust you even just a little bit, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You don't have to trick them into being interested. You can get right to helping them. Also, trust takes the ickiness out of the situation. No, you're never going to feel like an icky salesperson if you're building trust. Okay. And your friends and family are never going to feel icky by the way you've approached them. I think that's a technical term, right? Removes the ickiness. That could be like it sounds like it's something that comes in a bottle, right? Maybe Xyngular could create a product that removes the ickiness. Well, that's what we're doing with Teamzy. Teamzy is going to be the product that removes the ickiness for you guys. And lastly on this, you get to go for yes. You get to go for yes. Now, what does this mean? It means you get to build a business that is not full of rejection. Pretty cool, right? We get to build a business that is not full of rejection. And you get to tell people when they come on your team, don't worry. The way we build here is not based on you getting rejected all day by people. We're going to go for yes. So how do you build trust? There's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. I'll go through them really quickly, then I'll explain them out. Number 1 is chemistry. Okay, chemistry. Number 2 is character. Character. Number 3 is competence. Competence. I'm sorry, I'm going fast. I see a couple of you are taking notes. Number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. The 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Okay, let's talk about these. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Basically, people want to do business with friends. People want to do business with friends, and people do not want to do business with someone they don't like. So take a minute to find out what you have in common with people. Ask some questions, get to know people, build some rapport. This is important. This is important. This is where the beginning of the relationship comes in, right? Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Chemistry is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Now, really important, because we think of character as something we own, like our integrity, like I'm a person of integrity. But the truth is that we don't have character. Character is an action we take. Character is something we do on a daily basis. We don't get to say, I have character because I've done good things. We have to show our character every single day. This is the number 1 thing people look at when they want to do business with you, is to see that you care and that they can relate to you. So this is the filter through which you need to see everything you do. The way you take care of customers, the way you communicate with people, the way you follow up, the way you talk to people out in the public, the way you take care of the people that serve you, the way you tip, the way you drive your car on the highway, the fact that you always return the shopping cart to the shopping cart area. These are things, I'm kidding a little, but I think that's an important piece of character, right? But it's all about showing people who you are and how you care for them. It's really important. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. In other words, how can you help me if you don't know anything about your products? How can you help me? I've got this specific problem. Can you help me solve it? You need to be competent. I need to know that you know what you're talking about, right? Why choose you? There's a lot of people doing Xyngular. I could figure it out. I could probably even find some on Amazon or eBay or whatever from people who have it, right? Like, stale, expired, whatever. But why should I choose you? Are you competent? Are you demonstrating? And here's the thing, you could be competent, but how will I know if you're not demonstrating it? I need to see it. I need to see it on your social media. I need to know that you're learning. I need to know that you're growing. The second piece of this is, why should I join your team? Why should I join your team? Do I believe you can mentor me to be successful in this business? How do I know you're a business person? How do I know you understand how this business works? And the answer is you need to show me. You need to be showing it. I need to be tracking your journey. Everyone should be tracking your journey, seeing what you're learning and as you grow. Now, this is just one really important piece of this before we move on. If you're new, anybody on the call that's kind of new-ish? Okay, cool. Mary, thank you for being our guinea pig. Put your hand up. When you're new, it's important that you don't pretend to be something you're not. This whole fake it till you make it thing, that's only refers to having a positive attitude, not actually pretending to be something you're not. So it's important that you don't pretend to be an expert when you're not. What you do when you're new is you lean into the competence of your team. You tell their story. You tell people about the mentoring you're receiving. You tell people about the incredible testimonials of people on the team and how they've learned about these products. Does this make sense? So you lean into that team competence. And then what you do is when you bring people into your business, you let them know, hey, I'm getting mentored by the best and you will be too. Does this make sense? So for you leaders on the call, help your new people lean into you. Make it easy for them to lean into your competence. Lend your competence to them like a blanket, like a mama bird covers her babies with her wing. Take them under your wing and let them lean into your competence and teach them that. Okay. Not to pretend to be something they're not, because let's be honest, their friends and family have seen them with their pants on backwards. It's going to take a while before they believe they've kind of changed and become this new person, but they believe in you. So it's important. So chemistry, character, competence, the first three ingredients to building trust. There is a principle that underlies these. I'll give it to you really quick before we move on to number 4. Here's the principle. When somebody's going to do business with you, they really only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, the way they answer these questions in their heart determines everything. If the answer is no, they will not do business with you, or they will stop doing business with you. If the answer is yes to these 3, you have an advocate, somebody who will go out of their way to bring people to your business. If they're not sure, they will raise objections. Does it make sense? Now, objections aren't a bad thing. It means that you have to continue working with them and helping them to understand and building your relationship. But it also lets you know where you're at. Make sense? Now, nobody will ever ask you these questions out loud. These are things they feel. Okay, so it's important for you as you build your relationship that they feel good about these things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Number 4 is consistency. 4th ingredient to building trust, consistency. Got to be consistent. Nobody believes anybody anything unless they're consistent. Make sense? How many of you guys are consistent products of the product, using your products, your Xyngular all the way? Good. I hope so. Hope everybody live and on recording would say yes to that. How about social media? Who is consistent about sharing? People know that you are actually working with Xyngular, that you're trying to build a business and help people. It's important, right? Because we're not going to build a business if no one knows about it, right? It can't be secret. That only works on like the dark web or something. At least they're probably still marketing. They're just marketing on the dark web. Okay. Consistency is where it's at. It's really important, but even more importantly than using your products or posting on social media and things like that, which are important, is being in touch with people staying in touch with our relationships, being in consistent contact with our relationships. Here's a principle on this I just want to kind of give you guys an idea on. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. This means that not only will people trust you when you're consistent, but they want to be around you. They're drawn to you because of it. They're inspired by you. And so being consistent is a key piece to building trust, which will help you build your team. But also the consistency will attract people to your team. It will create a culture around your team that people want to be around. So it's kind of like a double whammy. It helps with individuals and it helps with the team as well. But let's talk about where I was going with this. The checkup from the neck up. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Are you consistently in contact with your relationships? See, relationship building is a contact sport. You got to be in regular contact with people if you want to have relationships with them. But I know the time is scarce, and don't worry, that's why I built Teamzy, to make it easy for you to do it in a little bit of time. But you need to get this principle. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. And this is exactly why we built Teamzy, to help you invest time and connect with people. Now, we're going to help you do it efficiently, so it doesn't take a lot of time. But this is how relationships are deepened, by investing time and personally connecting with people. So this is all well and good, and it feels great, right? And we're having a good time, and you guys like what I'm saying because you're still here. I'm assuming there's a couple of good things you like. But you got to have a system. Philosophy is not enough. You just got to have a system, or else you can't actually do it consistently and you can't duplicate it. You need to have a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships. You need to know when you're going to contact people, when you're not going to contact people, right? Because otherwise you're just staring at a list trying to figure out who you should reach out to. How many of you guys have done that? Know what you're going to say so you don't stare at the screen in what they call analysis paralysis. what am I going to say? What do I say to this person? How do I start a conversation with this person? So know what you're going to say so you can get things moving efficiently and make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. I mean, this is the system you need. This is why we built Teamzy. Let me show it to you guys real quick. Now, first off, I just want you guys to remember that if you haven't already started using Teamzy, you can go to teamzy.com/Xyngular to get a free trial for 30 days. Teamzy.com/Xyngular. We have a customized version for Xyngular, and also really cool, we've got an endorsement and a corporate deal with Xyngular Corporate. So after the free 30 days, which you can do with no strings attached, you can get up to 45% off your subscription because you're a Xyngular distributor. That's so cool. Okay. All right, let's dive right in here to Teamzy. Once you've logged into your Tmc dashboard, the very first time, it'll bring you into the setup wizard, which is just made to make this setting up Teamzy super easy, okay? And so this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna page through a couple of these. This is made for people like me that aren't that techie to make it easy. I don't know if you guys think I'm a tech nerd. I'm a nerd, but maybe not a tech nerd. I'm not that great with technology. It has to be really easy. Now, this is something that Teamzy does, this page I'm looking at right now, that is just, it's one of my favorite things Teamzy does. You tell Teamzy how much you want to earn, and Teamzy will backward engineer that and tell you exactly what to do every day. You don't have to worry about if you're doing the right things. You don't have to worry, did I do enough today? You'll know exactly what to do. And so you just slide this based on your goal. You set a goal for a year from now. How much money would you like to be making annually 1 year from today? So if your goal is 100,000, put it at 100. Okay, if your goal is 150, which is where I'm going to leave it for me, there's your goal. Now, Teamzy tells me what to do 5 days a week in order to get to that in a year. Pretty cool. Now, just a little quick note, it's written right here on the page in big letters, but not everyone sees it still. If you're already making a really great income with your Xyngular business, you're going to set your goal just for the difference. So if I was making 100,000 and I want to make 200,000 next year, my goal is just 100 in Teamzy. You set it for the difference. Make sense? Okay. Once I click on continue, now it has set up Teamzy to my specific goal so that I have a customized Teamzy dashboard based on my goal, which is really cool. Okay. On this page here, you can get all your contacts into Teamzy. So we want you to get all your contacts in Teamzy so they're in one place, organized. No more pads of paper, sticky notes. Oh my gosh, I don't know. What else do you guys have? Spreadsheets that you don't update, you can't find. We want it all in one place. It lives in the cloud, which means you'll have it in your phone. You meet somebody new, you don't have to write their name on the back of a disposable mask, right? You pull out your phone, put them right into Teamzy, so you have it all tracked. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this is you can get your back office people, your Facebook friends, Instagram followers, all that stuff imported into Teamzy. What's really neat about it is once it's in there, and I'll show you this in a second, Teamzy has a special algorithm that makes sure that you stay in contact with everybody without dropping anybody through the cracks. It's pretty cool. Okay, so here's the Teamzy dashboard. It's really neat. There's some cool stuff on here. One thing you can do over here, which is neat, is you can change when you rank up, you can change it in Teamzy, which is fun. I want you guys to look right now at the top where it says today's activities, though. See where it says today's activities? Those are the activities I need to do today in my business. And it's based on my annual goal. But Teamzy just keeps me focused on today because it's the only day I have, right? And just keep this in mind, y'all. If you want to have a business that's big, you have to have a focus that's small. You have to focus on what you need to do today. So my goals are to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 distributors, to share my business 3 times, and to add 3 people to Teamzy. Those are my goals for today. Okay. And I'm going to walk you through how we do that in a power hour right now. Now, all of my contacts are in Teamzy. So I've got thousands of people in here, their names, their addresses, their email addresses, the name of their dog, whatever, all the information stored in Teamzy. But what Teamzy does is it right here on the dashboard in this power hour module right here, it tells me who's up next. In other words, who I need to connect with next. So I don't have to think about, oh my gosh, out of all those thousands of people, who do I message? It tells me who's up next. Does it make sense? And it does it based on this algorithm that I mentioned, but also the number one thing that you can do to kind of set this is giving people a ranking. So you can see Kelly's a 5, Amy's a 4, and so on. These are how many stars I've given them, 5 stars to 1 star. The stars control how often they come up on my list. Okay, so a 5-star person, they'll come up first, but they come back every 30 days. I don't have to set a follow-up. They come back every 30 days. I can stay in touch with them. A 4-star person comes up every 60 days. A 3-star person comes back every 90 days. 2-star people come back every 120 days. So the more stars I give them, the more often they come back, and I can just stay in touch with them, building the relationship. Okay. So I've got 3 lists. I've got prospects, customers, distributors on my team, and then I've got follow-ups. And you can set a follow-up for any point in the future with people. You can set follow-ups too. Okay. On the right-hand side is where I log the message as I send it so that I have it tracked. You want to always track what you're sending so that Teamzy knows when to bring that person in front of you again. Does this make sense? That's why we track as we go so that nobody falls through the cracks and the list cycles itself through. Okay. So let me just show you how to do this. We'll do a quick power hour and then I'll do some Q&A. First person on my list is Kelly. I'm going to message her. Okay. I'm going to message her. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure. Okay, good. So I'm going to message her on Facebook, and I've got Facebook open in its own tab over here, so it's ready to go. And so now I'm going to send her a message. And this is where I used to get stuck. Oh my gosh, what am I going to say to her? And over the years, I figured out that the easiest and best thing to do is just to send them a nice message to make their day. Okay. Not to send them some script where you're trying to recruit or get them to watch a video or take a look at your business, but just to make their day. Okay. And you're going to get a much better response rate from that. And people will, give you an opportunity to have a conversation, be a normal person with them, build a relationship with them. And people are always asking me, how do you do that? So we built a scripts library into Teamzy for you. Even in a free trial, you guys, you have the scripts library. So it's right here. You just click it. So I'm going to get a script so I can message Kelly. I'll take the first one off the list. Here's how it reads. I know some of you are on the phone. It says, "Hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome." Okay, super easy. I'm going to copy that script. I'm going to paste it in Teamzy, and then I'm going to just do some quick editing. I'm going to put the right name in. Oops, let me capitalize that first letter. I'm going to throw in a couple of emojis because I like to do that. Whatever emojis you want, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving you an example. Here we go. A couple of emojis. Great. Now I've got the way I want it. I'm going to copy this and send it in Facebook. So I'm just going to look her up. There she is. As I'm waiting for Facebook. Okay, there it is. Boom. That's you, right? I see a lot of X's, a lot of turquoise X's. That must be the right place. So now I'm sending her this message. There it is, sent. Okay, super easy. Now you log this in Teamzy as a Facebook message, click the big blue button that says log connect, and it's logged. Now look what happened. One's done, and this little circle has started to fill in. It says I have 8 left. Next person on my list is Jay. I'm going to send her a similar, I'll just send the same message. What the heck? Change the name, paste it in there, still on my clipboard. Why overthink? Don't overthink. Just get on the side of action. There it is, ready to go. And now I'm going to just copy this real quick and send it to her in Facebook. You can send messages however you want. Text message, Instagram direct, whatever. I use Facebook a lot to message people because the response rate's great. There's Jay. We're going to paste that message in there and send it. Poor Jay. I send her this message like 100 times a day because she works for me and she's my sample and she gets this message every time I demonstrate Teamzy. It's all good. She's a good sport. Have any of you guys ever talked to Jay at Teamzy headquarters? Yeah, she's the bomb. She is so great. She worked with me in my previous career, and I poached her when I started this company. That's what we do, right? Yep, I didn't poach her. I just gave her a better opportunity. So here we go. Log connect, done, 2 done, 7 left. And I'm just going to go down my list now and send these messages. Okay, now the first part of your the power hour is basically just sending messages. Let's just be honest. It's just sending messages. Okay. So get focused on sending out the messages. Don't stop and have conversations as people respond. Put it off just a few minutes so we can get all of our outgoing messages done so we can finish our power hour, right? Then you can have those conversations as much as you want. So when I'm done sending all the prospect messages, that circle will be all the way blue. That's my visual cue that I'm done with prospects, and I'll toggle to customers and I'll start messaging customers. Now, this question always comes up with Xyngular people. Well, we're already messaging our customers, like crazy when they're brand new. Yeah, that's true. And that's great. And you can keep doing that. But what about after that? You want to stay in touch with them after those first couple of months. So these are the ones that are going to be cycling through here, and you're staying in touch with them. So just for example, here's what we're going to do. Leslie comes up. I'm going to go to scripts. I'm going to send her a message. Okay. Now it might be something like this one. Maybe it's been a while. Hi, John. How are you enjoying the products? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Okay, great. So you copy the script. Okay, you put it in there. You guys get the idea. Change the name to Leslie. Change the products to what she's using. Send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Send the message. Okay, just staying in touch with customers. I'll get one more here for Emerson. I love this script for customers. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. That's my favorite one ever because you get the best responses from people when you ask them that. So what we want to do is just stay in touch with our customers. Now, just really quick on this, staying in touch with your customers is magical. I mean, I'm talking over time, over the years, because when you're in regular contact with people, with customers, statistically, they order more product. They order more product and they retain longer. Okay, so they'll order more product and retain longer, which is huge. If you're building a large team and you get everybody using Teamzy and staying in contact with customers over time, you're going to see volume go up tremendously. Sometimes you'll see it go up 20, 30% the first month the team is on Teamzy, which is why we get so many leaders wanting to do Teamzy challenges, right? Because it's a great way to get volume up, because it's just by reaching out and staying in contact with people that you wouldn't normally, you'll see those sales go up. The other piece of this puzzle is that when you're looking for new customers, where do you go get great new customers? I mean, if you think about the customers that you absolutely adore, like how do you find more of those? And the simple answer is the best place to find great new customers is from the current customers you already have, is to get them to introduce you to their friends and family. And the only way you can ask for those types of introductions is if you have a relationship, if you're in regular contact. So it all comes down to this, staying in regular contact with your customers. So you're going to go down your list. Whoever's up next, just send them a nice message, stay in touch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mine was 6, so I'm going to do 6. Then I'm going to move to distributors. I'm going to be now messaging people on my team just to stay in touch with them. Now, this is so important. This is so important, and we named the product after this, Teamzy, right? Teamzy. Everyone's so caught up on prospecting. Let me just tell you something. You spend a lot of effort to recruit people to your team, and then the turnover rate is so dang high, it's super frustrating, right? Let's be honest, it's frustrating. In our industry, the turnover rate is 50% a year. That means 1 out of 2 people you recruit will quit their first year, which is a total bummer. But it doesn't have to be that way for your team, just because that's the industry average. And the number one way to improve retention on your team is by connecting with them regularly and building relationships. People are more motivated by relationships than anything else. And so Teamzy is going to make it easy. Now, look, when you're starting out, Mary said she was new. You're starting out with a handful of people, great. It's easy to stay in touch. That's why you need a system now, because when you have 900, when you have 5,000, when you have 10,000 people, you need a system so that you can stay in touch with your first level people, with the leaders on your team on a regular basis, and build those relationships so that you can keep more people than not. So you can maintain the team that you've worked so hard to build. Does this make sense? So it's important that we build relationships on both ends, the prospecting end, the customers we've already captured, and the people we've already recruited. We need relationships with all of those to build the business. Okay, so that's the first half of the power hour, sending those little messages just to make somebody's day, to your prospects, your customers, distributors. You can do that. My goal was 19 people. I mean, that's 20 minutes, maybe, right? To just send those messages, use the scripts, just send it out. Let's say it's 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes, you've sent those messages out. The second half of our power hour is working the follow-ups list. It's working the follow-ups list. So when you get to the follow-ups list, the follow-ups you have to set. You set follow-ups. So let me just give you an example. So we send those messages to our prospects. They're make your day messages. They're designed to do one thing, to get a response. They respond. Great to hear from you. Great. Now it's your chance to have a conversation with them. So you've got a response in a way that's non-threatening. It's fun. It's friendly. It's made their day. Now have a conversation. How have you been? What have you been up to? Tell me what's going on. Okay. So now you're having a conversation with somebody and you have a chance just to chit chat with them a little bit back and forth over Messenger or however you're talking to them. Just get caught up. Be interested in them. Find out what's going on in their lives. Ask a few questions. Don't ask those weird questions that you see on the internet, though. Like if you were on a desert island, you know, what record would you break? Have you guys seen those types of strange questions? Don't ask strange questions. Just ask basic questions like, you know, do you guys have anything fun planned for Halloween? Right? Just like if you saw somebody in a grocery store, what would you ask them? Just have a basic conversation with them and talk to them. And really your goal is to get them to tell you about what's going on in their life. Okay. And be interested in that. And then you're going to tell them what's going on in your life. This is how conversations have happened since the beginning of time. Tell them what's going on in your life. Oh, well, what are we doing for Halloween? Well, I live in Southern California, so we're not allowed to do anything. We can't even trick or treat. Can you guys trick or treat where you are? My poor kids. My kids love trick-or-treating, I think, more than Christmas morning. They love trick-or-treating so much. And so we can't really do that this year in Southern California. So we are throwing a Halloween party at our house just for our own kids, and grandma and grandpa are coming over, and, you know, so I've got 4 kids, so there's enough kids to have a party. So we're having a Halloween party that we're planning, like, it's going to be unreal. You guys are like all into my story. I'm giving you an example of talking to somebody. Okay. I'm just telling you what's really happening. Just share what's going on in your life. Tell them what you're doing. You know, ask them how their work is going. And then what do you tell them? How your business is going. Tell them about your business. Number one question I always get, Eric, how do I talk about my business? Simple. You just talk about your life. Your business is part of it. Did I tell you I started my own business? Yeah, it's been awesome. I actually found this company called Xyngular, and they helped me lose a bunch of weight. I feel amazing. I love these guys. They have such a great culture. And so I joined them, and it's been amazing because I've been able to build a business where I help people all the time and generate extra income for my family. It's been the best thing ever. Wow, Eric, that's great. Are you guys with me? You just share what you're doing and why you're passionate about it. That's it. This is what I'm doing and why I'm passionate about it. I guarantee you, everyone will say, that's great. Good for you. They're not going to be like, oh, I didn't know that's what this conversation was about. I got to go. No, they're going to say, that's good for you. And then all you have to do is ask them, would you like to learn more about it? Let me know. If you'd ever like to learn more about it, just let me know, Kelly. And she's, oh, okay. Thanks, Eric. And a lot of times you'll be surprised how often people go, actually, yeah, I think I would like to learn more. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about it sometime. Okay, great. So let's just pretend that's happening, and I'm going to now log this in Teamzy. I'm having a conversation. I get Kelly on a Zoom or whatever, and we're going to talk a little bit more. How do I log it in Teamzy? So what I'm going to do now, she's not on my dashboard, so I just look her up in this little lookup bar. See? There it is. That takes me to her record. So you can see all of our conversations are logged, which is pretty cool. And so I'm just going to log now that we're on a Zoom. I'm going to put all my notes from our Zoom, right? And while we're talking on the Zoom, what am I going to do? I'm going to share the business opportunity with her. I'm going to share, or a product solution, let's say, either one. So I'm going to click on share to log that I shared. Okay, so whichever one's appropriate. If I shared both, I'll click on business opportunity. Great. So as soon as I log this as a share, it immediately activates the follow-up list. Okay. And what this is going to do is it's going to take her out of my prospects list, and it's going to put her on my follow-ups list. So it defaults to 2 days. You can set it to any date in the future. I'm going to set it for tomorrow, though. I highly recommend always following up the next day. And while we're on our Zoom, I'm going to tell her, I'm going to check in with you tomorrow to see if you have any questions. Okay. Why do you always, just a little pro tip, always tell them exactly when you're going to follow up and then do it, because guess what that is? That's keeping a promise. When you make a promise and keep it, you're building trust. Does this make sense? You're building trust. The other thing is I always promise people that I will follow up, because then my follow-ups aren't some annoying thing that I'm doing for me. It's a favor I'm doing to them because I told them I would. Does this make sense? It's just it's in your heart to serve, and it's in the words that you use to express that matter. Okay, so look, when I log this, you can see now it's added a follow-up scheduled for tomorrow to her activity feed. So it logged it logged the Zoom, and it shows that I shared the business opportunity there. And now I have a follow-up scheduled for tomorrow. Now, if I go over to my dashboard, let me just show you how it logged on top. You can see now I have one share logged for the day. Pretty cool. And on my follow-ups list, there she is, due tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow when I do my power hour, I connect with prospects, customers, distributors, just like I showed you. Then I come to my follow-ups list and I see if I have any due, and you will see that I have a follow-up due with Kelly. Now, after you've been doing this for a month or so, you may have a bunch of people on that follow-ups list. And that's why it'll be 30 minutes of message sending at the end of your power hour. Does this make sense? First half is the outgoing messages to start new conversations. The second half is your follow-up messages. So how do I send a follow-up? It's just like sending a message. Just go to scripts and pick a one that's called follow-up. There it is, follow-up 1. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, so we're going to copy that script. Now, real quick. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, change the name. Always put their first name in the message when you're starting a new conversation with them. Okay, just a little pro tip. Remember the principle. You need to connect. You need to invest some time and connect personally. They need to know this is not some bulk spam message, that this is a message just to them. That's why you always include their name when you start a new string with them. There it is. I'm going to go send this to her on Facebook. And look, I still have her open, which is great. Paste it right in there and send it. Okay, so now I've sent her the follow-up message. And then what I do is when I log this in Teamzy, it's going to ask me, did this complete your follow-up? I'm going to leave it checked because it did. And then I'm going to add another follow-up, let's say for, 3 days. Great. Add that follow-up and then click done. So now I've got a new follow-up for her due Friday. Make sense? Super easy. Now, guys, this is so important. This is so important. And let me just hit this point and then we'll do some Q&A if you have any questions. But the follow-up is important. And you need to understand that the vast majority of people who are very interested when you're talking to them are not going to actually make the purchase like they say they are. And then you start following up and they don't respond. You get nothing back but crickets. Has you guys experienced this? And this is the vast majority of people. Why is this? I can't really tell you why. It's just human psychology. But I will tell you the statistic. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Between the 7th and 10th follow-up. So here's what I want you to do. You get somebody to this stage where you've now shared with them the products or you've shared the business opportunity. You put them on that follow-ups list. I want you to be prepared to send them 10 follow-up messages before you even think about giving up. Okay? And I've put 10 in the scripts library for you. They're numbered. 10 follow-ups before. Now you can space them out a few days in between. You can even get to the point where there are several weeks in between, but I want you to keep following up with people. Now, this is so important because 20% of people will respond within the first 3 follow-ups. The rest will take 6, 7 before they even respond the first time. Okay? So this is why it's so important. Now, I know some of you are probably worried about being annoying, like you don't want to be a pest. And so there is a way to do this so that you're not annoying, so that people love it. They will thank you for it. And there's 2 little quick principles. I'll teach them to you really quick. But if you use the scripts that I put in Teamzy, they already apply these principles. So you're good to go. But this is how you follow up without being annoying. Number 1 is you don't ask them to do anything. So don't ask them to call you or to text you or to just let you know either way or whatever. Just don't ask anything like that. You just want to be present. Just want to be present. Okay, the second principle is make sure that your follow-up message is short enough they can read the entire thing without opening it. Okay? Why? Because most of the time they won't even open your message because they don't want to respond right now. They're in the middle of something. But they will always see it. They will always look at it and they will always read it because that's just the way we are. We have to know, right? We have to know. It's kind of like, even right now, I'm getting these calls. And my phone says they're spam risk or that they're political. So I don't answer them. And then I go to look to see if they left a voicemail. Why? We're just like that. They're going to look at your messages. So don't worry if they're not responding. Don't worry if they're not opening them. If you follow those 2 principles, they're not getting annoyed and they're definitely seeing them. And every time they see them, you're top of mind. Every time they see you, they see your message, they remember how much you care about them. Okay. And what will happen is 6 or 7 messages in, you'll get this response that goes like this. I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you for staying in touch. Okay. This is a system that works all the time, you guys. This isn't some theoretical thing. I've been teaching this for 20 years. It works unbelievably well. What you need to do is just get in there, do your power hour, start conversations, have conversations, follow up, follow up, follow up. And every single month you will see consistently off that follow-up list, people will be joining the team and signing up as customers every week. This is how you rank up. This is how you get qualified every single month. I'm telling you what, it is like clockwork. This is how we got to those numbers, 36 customers. And was it 19 distributors over 3 months? It was a lot. It might be 12. I'll double check. Wait, I got it right here. 14 customers, 14 recruits, 36 customers, and 14 team members over 90 days was the average numbers for Xyngular people. Oh my gosh, how do they do that? It's this consistent application. Does that make sense? All right. I know we've got a couple of you here. Do you guys have any questions? If you have questions at this point, go ahead and just unmute and ask away, and I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, I have a question. So I don't have anyone in my customer list, although I have a ton of customers. And I don't have anyone in my distributor list, even though I have distributors.
Okay. But they're in Teamzy?
Mm-hmm.
It just means that
And I have them.
If they're in Teamzy,
I have them as a customer. I have them as number 5. But when I go through, I'm not doing that. I'm doing all follow-ups because I have like 50 follow-ups every day.
Okay.
So
If
I
they're
don't
on
know
the
if I'm doing
follow-ups
that
list,
wrong.
if they're on a follow-ups list, they won't be on the other lists.
Okay. So it's okay to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, it just means they won't be on the other list. Now, if you get to a point where you can just release them from the follow-ups list and let them flow naturally through Teamzy, it'll make that follow-ups list way less overwhelming.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So when you get to a point where you go, okay, I'm good talking to this person every 60 days now, then put them at 4 stars and take them off the follow-ups list, and they just let them flow through the customers list. Does that make sense?
Yep, exactly.
Because I know you've got, I mean, we built multiple follow-ups for you guys. I know that when you get a new person, like you're like, okay, I just scheduled the next 8 follow-ups. But after that, maybe that's when you release them from the follow-ups list and just let them flow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. Perfect.
Sure thing. Any other questions? Let me just remind you guys, teamzy.com/Xyngular to get your free trial started. The ongoing subscription for Xyngular people is like, it's like 60 cents a day at $19.95 a month to have everything planned for you. Less than, you can't buy anything for that. I can't even say less than a cup of coffee because I can remember when coffee was 60 cents, but barely.
I'm just going to tell you now, I've only been doing this since August. I ordered product in July and I became a distributor August 6th. And I had pages and pages and pages of customers on notebooks. And then someone told me about Teamzy. There is no possible way I could do what I'm doing without Teamzy. No way. And I'm now gold manager in just a couple months. That's awesome. I know it's because of Teamzy. There's no way I could have handled it. So I love it. I swear by it. I'll tell everybody about it. I am your advocate.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do appreciate that. And I'm glad I had an opportunity to give a little bit back to your team today. And hopefully this has been really valuable, and you're going to have the replay. So you'll be able to continue to share this with people. But, you know, the biggest thing is just get in there. And I mean, what better testimonial than that? How many people would like to be a gold manager in a few months? She didn't do it because she is hardcore spamming people, you know, alienating, which is what typically happens in our business. Somebody goes, do what I did. Look at me. I made $1 million and all I had to do was alienate 600,000 people. And you're like, I can't do that. And what we found is that 1 or 2% of the people, the world can do that. And a lot of times they're the top people in these networks because they did that. But I'm just telling you, there's a different way. There's a different way. This way you can do it. It lifts you up while it lifts other people up. You feel great. And you're going to find lots of people on your team who want to do this, who want to connect and lift people up. and you don't have to dig for diamonds. You can, every single person's a diamond. When you're talking about relationship building, every single person's a diamond. I think that's going to be my that's going to be my next book title. Everybody's a diamond.
Well, and I just want to add to that, not only is that way better because you don't hate yourself, but it's also better because those relationships go with you.
Yeah.
If you decide, maybe Xyngular's not for you, or, whatever, you never are going to regret building relationships with people, because life's all about relationships.
Yep.
So,
but you definitely would regret alienating people.
Absolutely.
So it's good. Well, I'm glad. I'm preaching to the choir here. It's all good. But I appreciate you guys setting this up and giving me a chance to kind of talk a little bit about Teamzy. Hopefully, hopefully it's something that is of tremendous value to you guys and your teams. And just thanks again, Kelly, for having me. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much, Eric. Have a great night.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, girls.